Hello, everyone. Welcome to the conference final round of Rookie versus the Vet. It is myself, Iain MacMillan, joined by Donnavan Smoot. We're talking some NHL Playoffs. The conference final is set to begin. The Western Conference final is set to begin tonight. The round is set to begin tonight. Donnavan, you are currently on vacation, but you decided to hop on to film this. I appreciate that. How are you doing, my friend? How confident are you feeling heading into the next round?
I feel very confident. I had a really good second round. I'm back in the game. It's tied. We're back at 0-0, and so I feel really good about these picks.
Yeah, as you mentioned, we are tied now. So before we get into our picks for the conference final, and by the way, actually, I have at the last minute changed one of my conference final picks. So we're going to get into that in a little second. But let's recap last round. I had a terrible round, to be honest. If we can bring up the graphic, I only got 1 point in the second round. It was just an overall bad round. Nothing went right for me. My game bets were not good. I was not good in this competition. My two futures tickets were the Flames and the Hurricanes. They are out. So as you can see on the recap graphic there, I only got 1 point. It was the Lightning. I didn't get a single series length right, and I only got one team correct. Donnavan, you did a little bit better. You caught up to me. You got 3 total points in the round. You nailed the Lightning, Rangers, and Oilers, so you got 3 of the 4 teams correct. Unfortunately, we were both on the Blues in 7. That actually got kind of close. It was a couple seconds away from overtime in Game 6. If the Blues could have pulled it off, it would have gone to Game 7. But definitely not a strong round for me. But now we are tied with you getting 3 points and myself just getting the 1 point. So we are tied. I mean, what drama? You couldn't ask for any better drama heading into the conference final. Donnavan, do you have any thoughts about the last round before we dive into the conference final?
Shout out to the Rangers. Shout out to the Rangers because, and we said it at the start of the last round, is that Rangers Hurricanes series that was going to be the swing series because the majority, like we both had Blues and sevens. We both had the Lightning winning, and so like that was going to be the one where if we were going to get like either a big gap or I was going to be able to make it up, that series was going to be the one. And I thought that was down for the count with the Rangers going down 3-2, and for them to come back and winning Game 7 on the road in a spot that they haven't been great in all playoff, that was beautiful for me. I know it's tough for you, and I can see it on your face right now that you're still upset about it. It's beautiful though, and so shout out to the Rangers.
I hate the Rangers. I want it on record. I officially hate the Rangers fan base. I used to be enemies with the Islanders fan base there for the past couple of years. I think my hatred is now shifted towards the Rangers. I hate them. I hate their fans. They're arrogant. They don't deserve to be in the spot, especially when the true second best team in the Eastern Conference lost in the first round, my Maple Leafs. It irks me to see a team as bad as the Rangers in the spot. So I officially want it on record. I do not like the Rangers, and I do not like their fan base.
That's perfectly okay. You can hate them all you want. The Rangers fans, right? Rangers franchise, y'all got love from me because you guys kept me in it. So it's one-on-one. It's okay. It's okay.
We'll see how much you actually do love the Rangers, though, because let's dive into our conference final picks. We'll start right there in the Eastern Conference. It is the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Rangers. If you're looking at it from a betting perspective, the Lightning are minus 175 favorites. The Rangers are plus 145. And also, quick recap for anyone who didn't watch the first 2 episodes. What we do is each of us pick a winner in how many games the series will last. You get 1 point if you pick the winner correct. You get 1 point if you pick the exact amount of games the series will last, no matter the winner. And then you get a third bonus point if you get both the team and the correct number of games. So we are tied 10-10 heading into the conference final. So that means there is maximum 9 points left on the board if you were to nail every single series. So it's coming down to the wire. So Donnavan, let's hear your pick to win and how many games will the Eastern Conference last?
Yeah, and as much as I love the Rangers, and as much as they have helped me out, and I love, they have love from me, I do not love them in this spot. I'm taking Tampa Bay in a quick 5-game series to win and advance to the Stanley Cup.
You were just giving them so much love, and now you're not even saying that it's not even going to last long. It's over in 5.
Listen, It be like that sometimes. Like, listen, in the playoffs, things happen and things turn on their head like that. And part of the reason that I'm going against them is because so they've gone down 3-1, they've gone down 3-2. I don't think that they have any more comebacks left in them. I think that this entire run they have gutted things out, and they've won games that they haven't necessarily, were in position to win, and they've won series that they weren't supposed to win. And Tampa Bay, we said it. I think we said it at the beginning of all of this, is the winner of the Tampa Bay Toronto series. That whether or not they were going to win it all, they were at least going to be in the Stanley Cup final. And I still believe that. And so I think that Tampa Bay, what they've shown, throughout these last two rounds, they've shown their championship grit. Their defense was fantastic. They only gave up 3 goals, I think they only gave up like
3 goals. Combined goals. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 combined goals in the last round against Florida. So that is making me lean with Tampa Bay. They have the best goalkeeper in the playoffs right now. The Rangers 2-5 on the road in these playoffs. I don't think that they're going to be 2 things. I think that Tampa Bay is going to get one in New York, and so I don't think that the Rangers will be able to steal home ice back from Tampa Bay. So I think their road woes are going to kill them, and I think that Tampa Bay is going to pull this one out and get to another Stanley Cup final.
Yes, I will say one thing. I believe the Rangers do, oddly enough, have home ice advantage in the series because of the way that the seeding. No, I think they just finished with more points anyways, but I'm just going to blame the weaker division. So that is an interesting thing that people will probably just automatically think the Lightning have home ice advantage in the series, but it's actually the Rangers.
I'm saying the Rangers, the Lightning, they're going to win a game in New York, and so because of that, they'll steal the home ice, and so I don't think New York is going to be able to even that and start trading road wins with Tampa Bay.
Yes, I did just want to, because I know there are some people that think just because Lightning are the Lightning that they're home. You are correct. Home ice for the first 2 games of the series will be in New York. I agree with this pick. I'm going to go with even a bigger beatdown though. So we're on the same side for the team. I'm Lightning sweep this series. This is a very strange, and I mean, I just trashed on the Rangers before. If anyone's been following me on Twitter that's watching this, I've been trashing on the Rangers all series. New York fans hate me right now. But very weird NHL playoffs because of this kind of newish format. The Lightning are going through a Benjamin Button version of an NHL playoff run. It's supposed to be each series is supposed to get more difficult for them. That's usually how playoffs should work. Each series has gotten easier. Their toughest matchup was the Maple Leafs. They had a good stylistic matchup against the Panthers. And now they have a team that doesn't even belong in the spot in the conference final in the Rangers. And you said it. They kept the Panthers, who averaged over 4 goals per game in the regular season. They kept them with 3 combined goals in the entire series last round. This Lightning team is built for the playoffs. And the reason why the Rangers did get to the spot is because of Igor Shesterkin. It's because of their goaltender. He has dragged them to the Eastern Conference final because they have been largely outplayed by both the Hurricanes and the Penguins, especially the Penguins. But now the problem is they are facing a Lightning team that have the next best goalie, or some would say an even better goalie, and Andrei Vasilevsky. So that goaltender advantage they had in the last 2 rounds no longer exists. And like I said, the Lightning are built for the playoffs. Their offense is deep, and not only are they good offensively and they can score goals, but they're very good on their own end. Their defense are very good. They have one of the best, arguably the best defender in all of hockey, in Victor Hedman. Andrei Vasilevsky, who now, if you look back to elimination games, he's allowing less than 1 goal per elimination game in his last 8. They're still undefeated after a loss. People forget about that trend because they didn't lose in the last round, but they're still what was the trend? What did they end at? 18-0, or I don't even remember what it was. Maybe it wasn't that high, but they keep rebounding after losses. This Tampa Bay Lightning team will pull off the three-peat. They're going to win this series. The Maple Leafs were their toughest opponent of the entire playoffs. I think they sweep the Rangers because the Rangers aren't a good team. They just aren't. They're not going to be able to produce the offensive output that you have to produce in order to beat the Lightning. They're not going to get past Vasilevsky. They're going to leave Shesterkin out to dry too many times. Lightning win the series in 4.
Yeah, I'm listen. And one thing that I've seen with New York as well is that they've allowed more scoring chances than created. And so like if you're
Right.
going into a series like that with a veteran team like Tampa Bay, who's won back-to-back titles, that's not going to get it done, especially when you said the goaltending difference in this series, it's equal, right? Like you don't have that major advantage to make up for. So yeah, listen, New York, you guys have gotten me to this point, so thank you for that. But the run's over. The run is over.
Yeah, to your point, Donnavan, I just looked it up. I just looked up high danger scoring chances for 5-on-5 hockey during the playoffs to kind of obviously 5-on-5 to take with the power play and penalty kill a little bit. The Rangers are getting 9.78 high danger scoring chances per 60 minutes of 5-on-5 and allowing 17.53. So they're allowing almost twice as many as they're producing. That's what I say when I say like this team doesn't deserve to be here. I'm not just a hater. Like they're not good. They're not a good team. It's just Shesterkin, and you can prove it if you look at expected goals against. Their expected goals against so far in these playoffs are 3.6. Their actual goals against is 2.28. Like Shesterkin's stealing like a goal and a half every single game. It's insane.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very fun series for Tampa Bay. I don't think that like it's not going to be as wide open. New York is going to have, if New York ends up winning this series, it's going to have to be some crazy just like 1-0, 2-1 games. Like they're not going to be able to win shootouts, and they're going to just have to hope that it's some defensive masterclass on both ends. And that's kind of all that they can hope for. But if we're talking about scoring goals and putting up five goals in a game or something like that, New York, they don't have the firepower to do it.
All right, so we're both on the Lightning, so neither of us can gain ground there. I can gain a point if it's in 4. You can gain a point if it's in 5. If the series goes 6 or 7, then it's moot in terms of this competition. But I think we're going to be a little different for the Western Conference because this was the one that I did change my pick at the last minute after overlooking a few things. So why don't you start us off? It's the Colorado Avalanche taking on the final Canadian team in the playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers. Avalanche big favorites at WinBet -250. Oilers coming back at 2-1. Who's your pick for this one?
I guess I'm staying chalk. Last round, I stayed, with the underdogs. I'm staying chalk right here. I'm going with the Avalanche in 6. I think, the Oilers, and I want to make this complaint. The Oilers should have won in 6. I was kind of upset that they won in 5 because I wanted the extra point, but they had that insane, goal reversal and then I'm going into overtime. So that was crazy. But I think that the Oilers, especially for a lot of people like on the outside looking in, and maybe people that are in my position, like you see a team coming off of a second round win in 5 and say like, oh, they're really hot. But when you think about that series actually should have gone longer if it wasn't for that terrible decision that they made, that the officials made. So I think that the Oilers may be, maybe slightly overvalued a little bit. I know that they're underdogs, but still. But these are two of the best offenses in the playoffs. They are the top 2 goals per game scoring teams in the playoffs. But Colorado has a slightly better defense. They have home ice advantage. They're better on the power play. And they also just get up more shots per game, right? And so I think if we're talking about a shootout that is probably going to happen with the Avalanche, and then with Edmonton having, McDavid, if we're doing that, I'm going to trust the team that just gets more opportunities for shots on goal, and that's Colorado. So I think that they get this a little, not easy. It's probably going to be about like a hard 6, but I think Colorado has the advantage because of their offense.
Yeah, before I give my pick, I will say these 2 conference finals could not be more opposite styles of hockey. If you're looking for exciting hockey, definitely watch the Avalanche and Oilers. Nathan MacKinnon against Connor McDavid, obviously that's a good matchup. But like every game this series is going to be like 7-6, 6-5, 8-6. The Rangers and Lightning are going to be like 1-0, like 2-1, 3-2, 3-2 at best. So opposite matchups here. For my pick, this is the one that I flipped on. I was on Avalanche, and I think part of it was maybe I was a little bit sour about how they beat the Flames, so I had a lot of money on. I prayed to Gambler, the gambling god, this morning, and I have now switched my pick. Give me the Edmonton Oilers in 7 games to give Canada's hopes of a Stanley Cup alive, because they're still looking for their first Stanley Cup since '93. Basically, this is what it comes down to. I mean, and you can make the argument with the Avalanche. You can make the argument that they're better defensively. You can make the argument that they have better depth. But the Edmonton Oilers have the best line in all of hockey, the best line that I've seen the last decade. I don't even remember the last time. Maybe one of the Blackhawks had a line that could rival this line of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Evander Kane. But they got Evander Kane halfway through the season, and I don't have the number in front of me, but they've been on just an insane run since they got him. You got Draisaitl and McDavid are the playmakers on that line, and then Evander Kane's coming in and giving that line, a little bit of grit. Also, a big thing that I looked at is the Oilers' goaltending has actually outperformed the Avalanche goaltending so far. They are not, their save percentage is 91.84, and the Avalanche, I believe, are around 90%. So a little bit better goaltending. And I have been anti-Colorado all season, so why would I go off this take now? They do have had holes. They've played well defensively in the playoffs, but let's be honest. No team has had an easier path to the conference final than the Colorado Avalanche. They played by far the worst team in the playoffs in the first round in the Predators, and then they beat a Blues team that really is a subpar team as well. This is going to be the first team in the playoffs that's actually a very good actual contender type team in the Oilers. So why would I get off my take all season that the Avalanche are overrated, especially at this price if you're looking to bet on it? So go Canada, go Connor McDavid, go Edmonton. Oilers in 7. Their top line needs to produce like they did the last series, though. And if they can beat this Avalanche team. So I'll take them in 7.
Listen, that's very fair. I think because I think that whoever wins the series is going to be in 6. I don't know if it's gonna go to 7. And I was going back and forth, and the one thing that scared me about maybe picking against Edmonton is the fact that they have McDavid. Like you have the best player in the world, and when you get to series that are extremely tight and are basically like a coin flip, having the advantage of having the best player in the world is an insane advantage. And so sometimes, like in the playoffs, while depth helps, you're going to need a star to step up and kind of take you there. And so I think it's a very fair pick. I hope you're wrong, but I wouldn't be shocked though if Edmonton was able to pull this one out. So it's going to be a fun series though.
Yes, it's going to be a very fun series. I would highly recommend if you're only going to watch one of the two series, watch this one because it's, unless you like defensive styles of hockey, this one's going to be a lot more of a wide open, high scoring. You might just bet the over in every game. I mean, the over for game 1 tonight's at 6.5, and the over is juiced like -145. Like these games are going to be insane. So there you have it. We are tied 10-10 heading into the conference final. I believe we have a recap graphic to show our picks here. Oh, there's only 2 series, so there's not too much to remember there. But tied 10-10. I got the Lightning in 4, a clean sweep of the Rangers. Get them out of my face. And I got the Oilers going in 7 against the Avalanche. And you have the Lightning in 5. You're giving the Rangers at least one win, I suppose. And the Avalanche winning in 6. Tied competition. Right. 9 total points available on the board if you include the bonus points. There you have it. This has been a quick episode because we only have 2 series. The next episode is going to be even quicker because we'll just have 1 series to talk about. It'll be the Stanley Cup final. Maybe end of next week we'll be able to dive into that. Any final thoughts before we sign off, Donnavan?
To the Rangers fans, I'm sorry that I've turned on you, but your run is over. I'm sorry.
And while I am picking against the Avalanche, shout out Nathan McKinnon, a fellow Nova Scotia boy. So if the Avalanche do win, at least I'll just root for him. So there you have it. That was Rookie versus the Vet for the conference final. We'll be back probably end of next week, like I said, for the Stanley Cup final. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff. I'll be going live for Green on the Greens at 6 p.m. today as well with Cody Williams to talk some golf, so tune into that. But until then, best of luck with all your bets, and we'll talk to you later.